and welcome to Make It to Merge. I'm Sophie and I'm joined as always by my fabulous co-hosts Kirsty and Will. I mean, I wish I could say we were back recording under better circumstances, but no, we're actually here with an emergency broadcast to talk about the recent devastating JLP news. So JLP has been fired, which are words I never thought would leave my lips in a million years. What the hell is going on?
I just astounded. Like, if JLP's job isn't safe, like, what hope? I just like, never in a million years did I ever think they would get rid of JLP.
Same. I feel like we've truly learnt the meaning of a blind side. Because, you know, like, it just wasn't even on my radar. Like, I never even thought this could be a possibility.
No, I never in my wildest nightmares thought that this could happen.
Same.
Well, any thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the cornerstone of the entire franchise, not just the Australian franchise. Mm-hmm. It's, for me, the entire franchise. As being introduced to Survivor via Australian Survivor, JLP is my Jeff Probst.
Yeah. And you said he's one of the main reasons why you kind of like got into it as well.
Yeah, he's a relatable guy, you know, in a kind of like buff, idealistic version of yourself. Like, you know.
Yeah, JLP is my hero.
Same. Guys, on the morning that it happened, let me just tell you what happened to me, right? I woke up.
We're all going to recount our own stories of how
Where were you when you...
Yeah. Well, because I feel like it is one of those moments. It's like
definitely.
when Michael Jackson...
Where were you when you found out JLP was being sacked?
Yeah.
I feel like this is like one of those, like... we'll always think of, you know, before JLP got axed and after.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like, 10 BC before firing, after firing.
BJLP. AJLP.
I don't feel like we should have the BJ.
Oh yeah, probably not.
But yeah, so I woke up, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb at night, so no messages had come through that I knew of yet.
What if I needed to contact you in an emergency?
In an emergency, you need to call me 3 times and then it will break
Okay,
through.
this is good to know.
FYI. So came downstairs, it was like, what was it, a Tuesday morning when we found out, or was it the Monday?
It was Monday.
Yeah, so yeah. I heard about it Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you did it Monday.
Okay, great.
Morning, yeah.
So Monday morning, I mean, a Monday morning's never great anyway. Come downstairs, I'm like, right, it's fine. Just going to get my breakfast ready, make like a nice bowl of porridge. Come into the living room. Don't know how it happened, but the entire bowl of porridge tipped upside down on the sofa. Imagine the rage. But I was like, no, it's fine. That is going to be the worst thing that happens to me today. Clear up the porridge, make another porridge, sit down, take my phone off Do Not Disturb. And I see all these messages from you guys saying there's been some distressing news. Right. Originally, when I read there's distressing Australian Survivor news, I thought you were going to say the new season is starting like next week and we're not prepared for the pod and you're away on holiday.
I remember we were messaging about that and you said, oh, we'll really discover the meaning of last minute scramble.
We would. I mean, they've still not announced it, so there's still potential.
Without, you know, all that fabulous prep work we normally do.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I see these messages.
You take your phone off Do Not Disturb and you are very disturbed by what you find.
Extremely disturbed. I was. I'm still shooketh.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it could be true.
Viscerally angry.
I was angry.
Yeah.
Still am.
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah. I'll never not be viscerally angry about this.
I'm furious and my life will never be the same.
I know. As a quick side note, can we just say that we love the phrase viscerally angry because in the UK, there's this guy called Martin Lewis, also known as the money-saving expert.
National treasure.
National treasure is right. And he basically, some scammers did like an AI deep fake of him and it looked exactly like him, and he was telling the British public to like invest in Elon Musk shares or something like that. And he did like a live interview on Good Morning Britain where he said he was viscerally angry about it, rightly so. But I never knew the true meaning of being viscerally angry before this happened. Did you?
No. And then were you straight into that Martin Lewis viscerally angry headspace?
Very much so. And it really affected my day at work as well. Like I didn't feel like I could focus because I just kept thinking this can't be true.
I was like that. Even as I was drifting off to sleep on Monday night, I just suddenly had a thought, JLP's been sacked. And then I woke up again, and then I was angry again.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you wake up every morning and then you're like, why was I feeling bad yesterday? And then you're like, I just remembered.
I'll never recover from this.
You know what this is kind of similar to? I don't want to go too dramatic, but have you heard of like the 5 stages of grief? I don't want to go into
Dramatic.
but it's kind of like that, isn't it?
What
Hang
are
on.
they? Do you
I'm just
know
going to
what
look
they are?
quickly.
While you're looking, I will tell the story about, I was, obviously I'd already found out, I was in like a work training thing, and the training woman brings up this like wheel of emotions on the screen, and she asked us all to like pick an emotion from the wheel that we were feeling, right?
no.
And obviously I just went for like interested, just
Not wanting to have any more questions.
of course. Yeah. But then some of the options on that wheel, they were like furious, betrayed. I was like, yes, this is capturing it. Imagine I did say that. I am betrayed right now, and I will tell you for why.
Was viscerally angry on the wheel?
Sadly not, but I feel like kind of covered by furious, but not quite.
Yeah. Right. These are the 5 stages of grief. Denial. Yeah, been there.
Yeah, because I keep
Say it isn't so.
Yeah.
Anger.
Yeah.
mean,
Well, that's
yeah.
been through.
Yeah. Bargaining. I'm not sure if I understand this one fully, but I mean, we've been like signing the petition. I feel like we're trying to.
That's the bargaining stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bargaining.
There's still a way out of this,
Yeah. They can do
Yeah.
something still.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
Yeah. They've not started filming yet. It's not too. Yeah.
Then we've got depression.
Well,
That's been the entire time.
do you know when
Yeah.
I think that'll really hit?
Go on.
After we watch Australia versus the World.
Yeah.
Because right now we're, devastated, viscerally angry, furious, betrayed. But then after that has aired and we know that's the last, we've not got any more
Every
JLP content.
every time in Australia versus the World, JLP does something very JLP-esque. It's going to be like a moment of elation followed by a moment of depression where you realise that could be the last time we get to see JLP do whatever it is.
It'll be like a knife through the heart.
Yeah.
It will. It's really upsetting me that like after that's aired, there's going to be like everything we're ever going to have seen of JLP on Australian Survivor will already exist. Like, I just can't cope with that.
Until he starts his own Australian Survivor podcast.
Arrival.
Spilling the tea. So yeah,
Spilling the tea with JLP.
Oh, yes. Let's have that.
That's good. I think ideally he could come on our podcast and do that, and we could have it as a segment.
Yeah.
God,
The invitation's there, JLP, anytime.
yeah.
Oh,
We've got
I will
interviews
fly
by
to
asking.
Australia to enable this. Or LA, wherever.
Anyway, going back to the 5 stages of grief. So depression, which I feel like we are still in an angry.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've properly hit depression yet.
Agree.
And then acceptance.
No.
No.
I mean,
That's going to
feels
be
very-
like 2 seasons into the future, if ever.
God, I actually want to cry.
No, that feels very far off. But I mean, I feel like we are working through those stages, to be honest. Will, you were on holiday.
Yes,
when
I was.
the news broke.
I was, yeah.
I feel like you were kind of sheltered from it slightly in a bit of a bubble because when you got back, you said that you were very upset, but like you weren't too bad.
I've been trying not to let it ruin my holiday.
Yeah, and I feel like it really broke through yesterday.
I mean, I heard the news on Sunday night, but at that point it was still a rumour. It hadn't been confirmed. I got back from, some drinks with everyone, got back to my room. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just see what's on Reddit, And there was the rumours that JLP, I was like, it's a Daily Mail article for a start. So I was like, well, this is obviously just a load of rubbish. It's not going to be true. Why would they get rid of JLP? That would be foolish. And it wasn't until I woke up the next morning to a message from Kirsty, like basically posting JLP's announcement, where it really sank in. I was like, well, this is fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
What an announcement, though.
Let's go on.
way.
Sorry,
yeah. I was going to say the way he's worded it, just hilarious.
He's not burning any bridges, is he, with the way he's treating it?
I understand why I would be
yeah,
as
I'd
well.
be
I got
livid.
this sense that he was viscerally angry when he wrote that.
I think so.
Yeah.
So Shannon did a podcast recently and they kept saying JLP was
Shannon Gus.
Shannon Gus, sorry, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone listening knows who Survivor Authority Shannon Gus is, but just in case you don't.
But she kept referring to JLP as unmuzzled. I really enjoyed that. Right, so let's get on to his Instagram post. I've got it here. So, Australian Survivor has seen some of the most epic blindsides over the last 10 years, but this one might just be the craziest of them all, ... because it happened to me.
Dun, dun, dun.
My heart.
Tragedy.
I received a call from the network thanking me for all my hard work and dedication to the show, but for next season, they are going in a different direction, in quotations.
Love that. That was in quotations.
Same. Ratings had dipped a bit recently and they wanted to do something drastic to shake things up. So for the first time ever, this is not a tribe swap, but a host swap. And he's done like an R in circle, like a trademark kind of thing.
See, when he said host swap, though, at first I thought he meant they were switching.
Right, I was about to say, like, where's he swapping to?
Yeah.
Like, where do I get to tune into JLP?
Yeah, I thought he was going to go to the American one. Jeff was going to do his job.
Oh, imagine that.
That would
Imagine
actually
if
be-
that still gets announced now and
my
this whole
God.
thing's just been a big ruse.
That would actually be so fun.
Can live
That
in
would be
her.
hilarious.
Anyway, yes.
That's us in the bargaining stage.
Oh,
Yeah, we've reached the marketing stage live on this podcast.
I wish I could say before we go to vote, tonight is a little different. No one's going home, but I can't. None of that non-elim bull tonight.
Oh.
Someone is going home. And with no idol in my back pocket, that someone is me. I have loved and will dearly miss the immensely talented crew, all the crafty players, and our loyal, sassy audience. I'm a huge fan of this incredible game, always have been, always will be. It has been one of the greatest adventures of my career to helm Australian Survivor, so it is without a doubt the hardest challenge of all to snuff my own torch, but here goes. JLP, the tribe has spoken. But don't pull out your hankies just yet. Too late. I'll still be at the helm for Australia versus the world. Probably our best season ever. P.S. Whoever said a blindside is the most humane way to put someone down is an idiot. It hurts like a bit.
And of course, we all know who said that a blindside is the most humane way to put someone down.
We do. So he's really thrown a bit of shade in there at the end.
Yes.
What did you think of the announcement from JLP's side?
What do you mean? What did I think of it?
I mean, like-
how he's
I was
written it,
viscerally
right?
angry.
Yeah, I was viscerally angry when I
Been
read
over
that.
this.
But I do like how sassy he's been.
That's what I
with
was
it.
getting at,
I
yeah.
love it. I love how it's just like it just doesn't care. I feel like, you know, about what he says or who he
Yes.
offends or like, you know, he's just running wild with it now.
I can kind of imagine that like some kind of PR person maybe from the network might have been like, here's a suggested template for your announcement. And JLP is like, absolutely not.
Dilly said,
Yeah,
no, wasn't that. Definitely not signed off by the network.
definitely not. Definitely not network approved.
What's he got to lose? though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just going to say, I appreciate his honesty.
Oh, I do. What do you think, though, of him saying that Australia versus the world is the best season
I
ever?
think that's the only line left in from his suggested press release.
the only thing.
It's like, okay, and then at the end you can say, oh, but I'll still be here for that, but it's the best season ever. Because they always say it's the best season ever.
the only
every
thing
time.
that you didn't change.
Yeah, that's all that he left in. That's the only bit left.
Or it might just be him being like, it's the best one ever because it was me at the helm,
Yeah.
which I
Probably
don't
true.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on the social media stuff because like I was scrolling the comments because I wanted to see like what was the general consensus.
Yeah.
There was not one bad comment in there.
No.
Everyone has been shook by this.
It was like a frenzy of despair.
That's such a good way to describe it. It really was. You know, I'm thinking like, you know, when companies do like a big announcement, like my reference I'm thinking of is when Disney said they were getting rid of Tower of Terror in California. To me,
Quite a personal one for you.
Yeah. And
Another devastating blow.
It was a devastating blow for me. Like I was genuinely very distressed by that. But then you do get a group of people who are like, no, it's old. It needs to be new. Like it's very exciting what they're doing. You know, like it's a polarizing decision.
Yeah.
There's a load of apologists normally.
Yeah. Whereas I don't feel like this is that at all.
No,
Like,
not a single. I don't think I've ever seen like a social media post with tons of comments where everyone is so in consensus with each other. Like everyone devastated. Like not even like one person really like, oh, it's time for a change.
Yeah.
Like, no one.
If it
I've
was
not seen a single negative post.
No.
I haven't.
On his one and on the official one from the official
Well, they had
Survivor.
to turn off comments on the Channel 10 one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I heard that as well, actually. Yeah. But there was like ones on Channel 10 that were annoyed at Channel 10, but none like, yeah, go on.
No, of course not.
Because everyone loves JLP.
Yeah.
And he's the
Good
perfect
job.
host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does such a good
He
job.
does such a good... you can't think of anything bad about his hosting. He's just perfect.
I can think of no downside, like no critique,
No,
nothing.
nothing. He's wonderful.
Let's like think about some of our favorite JLP memories or like moments or just like what you love about him.
This might be the thing that sends us into depression.
I mean, yeah. We'll just end the podcast like weeping. I think like I just wanted to start generally with JLP in challenges.
I thought you were going to just say, I was going to start generally with JLP.
I mean, I could because there's just nothing really bad to say about him. But generally in challenges is where I feel like that's probably my favorite because he's just very involved in things. He's doing like...
Running around.
Yeah, I love when he's like... Yeah, this is a good one, right? When it's like a classic Survivor challenge and you've got like the different elements to it. So it might start with like a rope climb. Then it goes on to like the sticks that they've got to barge through. Then they've got to maybe go over something and then it ends with like a throwing challenge. But say like when one tribe is quite far back and the other one's gone and then he doesn't quite know what to do. He's like running back and forth. He's like, these are still on the puzzle. These are doing this.
The enthusiasm.
Yes, enthusiasm.
He doesn't want to miss a second.
No.
Yeah.
He's in amongst it.
And the commentary is always top tier. Like, favorite is when he calls people out.
Yes.
So that time when he called Moana a handbrake.
That's one of my favorite insults of all
Yeah,
time.
he really did her dirty with that. But like calling out to everyone, she is a handbrake in this challenge. I use that expression now all the time in like everyday life. Well, not everyday life, but I do use it. And I learned it from JLP.
I actually remember like one of our earliest conversations about Survivor when we were all just first getting into it. We went on a walk and we were talking about how much we liked JLP. And I can remember that one of the things we were saying is like how he gets really like into the challenges. And you know, in season 1 where they had the Aganoa tribe that was just awful at everything. And I just remember him shouting, Aganoa need to pick it up if they want to stay in this. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. He's very involved.
He still had hope for Aganoa when no one else did, when they didn't have hope for themselves. He had the hope for Aganoa.
Yeah.
What about that time when he called out Henry when he wasn't paddling?
I know that's one of Will's favourite Survivor moments of all time.
Yeah.
Not just for JLP, but that moment in general. So yeah, Henry's
Henry's not even paddling.
he's trying to throw a challenge and JLP's having none of it. Henry's paddling backwards. So yeah, generally in challenges, challenge back chat.
Yeah.
You know, like sassing the contestants, but also like when he gets involved in things, you know, like say some of the endurance ones.
Yeah.
They're there for like hours.
So long.
So he's having a bit of like sass with
That's a bit of chat,
them.
yeah.
When he was
Bit of a
bargaining with
joke.
Brooke about her letter from home.
Oh, yeah.
that was a really
He's
good
like
one.
trying to get off to the pub and they're still hanging on. Like, right, look, what's it going to take for you to just get down?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about when we get a Dr. JLP in the challenges? 'Cause this has got to be a standout.
First responder.
Yeah.
First responder JLP. I mean, it was very good last season. We got a real look at it. They left a lot of
Yeah.
it in the edit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would say that's one of the best ones we've seen. So
Yes.
it was PD, wasn't it? With the was it?
Yeah.
I think it was his arm or something, wasn't it?
That made it
Yeah.
even better because there was a lot of bicep.
Yeah, JLP knows his biceps, that's for sure.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does. And he was he not doing the demonstration for everyone?
Yeah.
Or it was?
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was. I feel
He's
like
like,
there
oh,
was.
it's good you can still wiggle your fingers because that means the damage is. It's like, yeah,
That was
JLP knows.
there.
He knows.
It's funny because there was quite a few medical people on that series.
Yeah.
Because you had Karen as well, and then you also had Polly, who's like a paramedic.
Oh, yeah.
And they were all
yeah.
saying, "Oh, he should be okay." Like, I love this. There are so many people have like a medical background to comment on
Yeah.
this. Like,
I feel like in the past when it's happened, he's just kind of like popped in and been like, "Is he okay to continue with the challenge?"
we don't
But-
see it in the edit because didn't he say on a
Oh,
podcast
you're
one time
right.
that he is always the first person on the scene and he does usually assess it, but they don't leave it in.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
for whatever amazing reason, they decided to leave tons of that in the edit.
Oh,
with
it's
Katie.
actually so devastating that there's so much footage on a cutting room floor somewhere.
Okay, how much would you pay for I just 10-hour video of unseen JLP footage?
10 hours?
Yeah.
I'd probably say like
Bill Mill.
a cool meal. Oh, I was thinking of like what I actually have available.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
I was thinking for 10 hours, I'd pay probably £100 an hour.
Oh, an hour.
Oh.
An hour.
An hour.
Well, okay, wow. So
I mean, we could split it 3 ways. Would you not?
I'm in. We'll have a look for
I just won't go on holiday.
we'll do a do a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Release the footage.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd raise that in seconds. Just get everyone to
Oh,
sign the
yeah.
petition to donate £1.
You know what I love is when JLP his sadistic side comes out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when he just
that.
revels
Yes.
in the suffering of the contestants, but still in like a friendly, matey way. You can just tell he's enjoying it. I
Yes.
mean, case in point, obviously being when they was announcing the names of the Baron tribe. Last season, and he's just can't help himself but chuckle along as he's reading, and he's looking at all their faces, bedraggled and depressed. He's just like,
And they were so low at this point. It's like, remember Paulie?
I mean, it became a running joke for Paulie, didn't it? Just his absolute depression.
And he just couldn't get the names out for laughing.
Yeah.
And also that challenge where he was like adding more water to it.
Oh yeah. It's just like they were already hanging there for ages, and then he's like, I think he had a little crank or something.
Oh,
and he's just like,
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, whenever he's got a crank, that's always a good time.
yeah, he loves his
Sorry,
crank.
but it's just really like I just had like a twinge in my heart almost when I thought of
no.
someone else with that crank. Like,
Oh, they've got to retire the crank now.
surely.
Yeah.
I hope he gets to keep one of them. Imagine
Like
if
some
you could
people get to keep an idol. It's like he gets to
No,
keep
but
his
imagine if
crank.
you could rig up the crank to like do something in your house. You know, like I don't know what it would be
Answer like the door opener.
yeah,
Oh God, I'm now like going full Wallace and Gromit.
yeah. That's what I was
Yeah.
picturing. Wallace and Gromit.
I actually hate those inventions in Wallace and Gromit because
Why?
I just don't think they make life easier. Like they just
I mean, yeah,
they take
Gromit would
longer,
tell you.
and it's always Gromit that has to do all the work for them anyway.
Poor Gromit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
I just love as well, like whenever JLP has any kind of accessory to
Yes.
aid him
Oh, yeah.
on like in the challenge. So like if it's in the water and he's on a podium.
Pontoon.
Yeah. I'm sure we've seen boat JLP.
I was going to say, did
We
you have a
have.
boat one season?
Yeah,
He was like holding onto a
yeah.
little rope.
Yes,
So he could
yes.
stand up and.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also seen him like driving as well. You know, when All
yeah.
Stars, when he was doing the announcements and stuff, you know, like the wee video at the start about the season. I'm sure sure he was driving around in like
Oh, you're right. He had
one
like
of
a
those
Jeep or
roofless
something.
like, Jeeps. Yeah.
Oh God.
And when he used to have to like drive to the live show, and it was so like getting in a Jeep or a speedboat, and he'd be like arriving at live straight from the end of the
You know
finale.
what? They really missed a trick in Brains v Brawn too by not having Jono driving the bus
Oh,
in the opening.
yes. We can edit it. Let's get
Oh
AI
my God.
involved.
Yeah. Oh, just on that, by the way. So you know JLP's announcement, it had that big like boxing
Yeah.
glove punch.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That was AI, and I thought it was like a sneak peek of an upcoming challenge.
It was AI.
It was AI. Yeah,
AI
he
thought it
confirmed
was
in
from the next season.
Oh, I just thought it was a picture from a previous season, and I just hadn't remembered the challenge.
No, because it comes out and like punches him to the floor.
Wait, what?
I've only
I've only seen a screenshot of it.
Oh my God, yeah.
I didn't know it was an actual
It punches
video.
into the floor.
And he like crumbles.
It's
I need to
really like
about that.
symbol. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's symbolic, more on the nose.
Very on the nose. But yeah, I was thinking, oh, that's a sneak peek of like, you know, a challenge that's going to come up. Like you've got to avoid that big boxing glove. But no, it was
How long
it
did
was AI.
JLP spend like sitting in front of an AI prompt, like trying to get
Probably not that
perfect
long.
boxing glove? I mean,
Probably
the
just
picture of it was definitely him, right? Like it wasn't
Yeah,
the
the
weird
it was-
AI equivalent of him.
I wonder
I mean,
how
it was
he
very,
did it.
I mean, I believed it.
We could
So-
comment and ask.
Well, yeah.
How
Yeah,
did you?
I mean, he's replying to loads of stuff.
Oh,
at
yes.
the minute,
He's
so-
replying and liking everything.
Okay, going back to some of our favourite JLP moments, there's a couple more that I wanted to mention. So we discussed this on the pod last season, but do you remember the episode where there was like a scroll which had an advantage on it?
Oh, yeah.
And they brought the scroll to JLP and he said, I can confirm this is the scroll.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was an idol.
The scroll that he gave us so much good stuff in that tribal, because that was also the same one when he was like, you read the scroll to everyone.
Yeah, just him at tribal actually. We should probably touch
tribal
on because-
Jono. He is just a perfect host. He just kind of lets the contestants shine. He asks like questions that are just the perfect level of leading without leading too much, and he just gets us.
You know what?
Gold.
I had some training at work once, which was on like difficult conversations or something along those lines. And one of the things that they tell you is like when you've like said something to someone, they've maybe given you like a short answer. If you just don't respond, then it prompts them to like keep talking. And I feel like you see that a lot with JLP. Like he prods in the right direction, but he also lets things kind of unravel and unfold, I should say.
Yeah.
Not unravel.
He's not
at tribal.
uncomfortable with an awkward silence.
No.
Because he knows it will potentially lead to someone just speaking to fill that silence and then coming out with some gold.
Yeah.
We caught up yesterday with Shannon's latest pod, and they had like ex-contestants on there. So it was a bit of a peek behind the curtain, but they were talking as well about how at Tribal, he has to like not only be talking to the person that he's talking to, but also really paying attention. Because, you know, there's a lot of like whispering that can happen at Tribal. He's got to be like, you know, engaged with the person, but then also very aware of what's happening and putting it all together in one big picture.
God, the multitasking.
I know.
That's a skill.
It's a skill and he has perfected it.
He has it in abundance, that skill.
And yeah, I mean, I'm going under again.
Yeah, I know. Wait, come on, what's the next segment?
Voting nods.
Oh my God.
We love the voting.
Yeah,
nods.
we've mentioned this already. Maybe we'll find the content we made and reshare it on our Instagram.
Yeah, we put a bit of a compilation together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, at Tribal, when like Miles, what was happening? Oh,
Everyone was away talking to each other, right?
yes. And he was like, Miles, should we just have a private discussion here? Apparently as well, Laura was on this podcast and she said, what was it that was happening? There was like some point where something was happening and she said that her and JLP were just chatting on the jury bench. I think it was the Baron Bounty twist, maybe. another outstanding JLP tribal performance.
I found it funny listening to that podcast because for everyone it was a point of pride if they'd managed to have a one-on-one conversation with JLP at any point. I mean, as it would be.
You know what they were saying, actually? They had Kirsty on, and she was saying in season 1 that JLP was allowed to talk to them a lot more. And he was like, he had apparently seen that she'd had a bit of a breakdown the day before and kind of pulled her aside and gave her like a bit of a pep talk. But apparently he's not allowed to do that anymore. Like they were saying as well, you need to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I need to.
He has a zhuzher that will like spray
Oil him up.
oil before
What?
the challenges. Yeah.
Okay, I need to. I'll watch this.
I need to watch it.
When I get home.
Couple of other like JLP highlights. Remember when he told off Lockie?
Yes. And the thing is, right? He never gets mad. Ever.
Yeah.
So it was just such a standout because I don't know if I've ever really heard him say a harsh word to the
No.
contestant other than that.
What was it? What happened?
So it was that challenge where you have to like swim against the tide.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
in the drink.
Lockie kept cheating somehow, didn't he? There was something you weren't allowed to do.
I don't
think you
even
weren't
know.
allowed to pull back the other person.
Yeah, I
and
think he
kept
was
doing
making it
that.
like a physical challenge against the other person.
Yeah.
I remember this now, yeah.
And he got told like twice, and then JLP was like, "You lost, get over it."
Yeah.
That was it. So I think, did they just call and say the other person had won?
Yeah.
And then Lockie was like trying to protest.
it.
And JLP was like, "You lost, get over it."
Yeah.
And we were all like, "Oh my God."
But he can be firm,
Yeah.
and rightly so.
Yeah.
But that was a full
He was
scolding.
Like when he nearly threatened to take both tribes to tribal council.
yeah.
It's like they were both trying to throw the challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, well, but both tribes can go to tribal council then.
Yeah, I loved
Which I
that.
actually wish had happened, but
Oh, I wish that had
That would
happened.
have been good. I think just in general, a couple of other bits and bobs. Innuendos are plenty. I mean, we've,
nut after nut.
yeah, busting nuts, lots of like, Kaelin's dropped his balls, you know, that
Nutsack.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nutsack,
Yeah.
yeah. Just on that quickly. So I don't know if we've ever said it on the pod before, but our favorite challenge of all time is nutsack. Wait, is it actually called nutsack? What's it called? We call it coconut hold, but,
Coconut oldie.
but it's actually called, what is it called?
Well, do you know what the issue is? This challenge has appeared multiple times in different
It did have
iterations,
names,
and it's got different names every time.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause I think one time it's just called coconut holds, which is very uninspired.
no, we call it coconut.
No, I'm sure there's another one in
Oh,
the
it's
original.
called nut bucket,
Nut bucket, that's it.
also known as sack attack, nut slinger, and wait up.
Yeah, weight up is
Yeah.
really bad. I think, yeah. Well, anyway, that's our favorite challenge. And I love JLP in that challenge because remember Sue
Yes.
just excels and she's holding the rope for like ages. And
Yeah.
even JLP is like, that was an outstanding performance. And he even brought it up again at that week's tribal
Yeah.
because he was so impressed. So, you know, if you get that level of praise from JLP,
Yeah.
it just makes life worth living, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just feel like he's a real, like, he cares about the contestant.
That's what's overwhelmingly come through from every like contestant
really?
that
Yeah.
I've heard speak about it has just said like you can tell he genuinely one loves the game but two cares about the contestants and like and you can't fake that kind of
No.
genuine emotion. So I mean just devastating really. I mean, should we move on and talk about the rumor?
I think so because it's getting quite upsetting now.
Yeah, we need to move
Gone
on.
west.
So rumors are aplenty
Rumor has it.
that the replacement host is going to be none other than the Golden God himself.
David Gennett.
What do we think about this?
I love David.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if it had to be a former contestant, I mean, he's probably one of the ones I would choose. Mm-hmm. It's just so like, it's just so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What?
Anyone who's listened to the pod before knows I'm a Golden God fan.
Golden God.
Golden God. And I'm interested to see, assuming it's true, how he is as a host versus a contestant, because we know he puts on a character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him say that on, is it like Parvati's podcast? He said it's like a character.
Because I think
Like an
the
acting
problem
job.
with his character is he's very unrelatable as a person in that character.
Yeah.
He's the golden god.
Yeah,
right?
he's a god.
You can't relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome to watch as a player because
Yes.
he's the golden god, but I don't want a golden god as a host.
Yeah.
I want a relatable person as a host, who JLP in a way is.
You want someone that speaks for what the audience
Exactly.
is thinking,
The host
right?
is the closest to the audience point of view
Yeah.
in the show, and that's
Yeah.
who you need hosting the show. So we'll see when he's not the golden god. I mean, was he the golden god when he was on Deal or No Deal Island? That was kind of a similar character, but he was downplaying it. So.
I don't think he was as much. He was definitely showing like a more human side,
Yeah.
I think, on that when he
yeah.
was, because he was getting like, quite upset about having to like betray everyone and stuff. Like, yeah, he seemed a bit more level-headed on Deal or No Deal. But there was the first episode there where he was fuming. Remember, there was like that challenge, and he was trying to get someone to not go on the zip line, and then he went, and he was absolutely, he was viscerally angry.
He was, yeah.
But generally, no, he was quite like calm and nice to.
Yeah, but that could also be because they had Dr. Will on it. So comparatively.
In contrast.
Well, this is it, yeah.
But no, really, I do think he was a bit more toned down on that.
I
But
think he was, yeah.
And when you hear him speak on podcasts, he is different. He's not that kind of golden god guy. He seems very chilled.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see because, you don't want it to be the Golden God show. But it's weird because like JLP is Australian Survivor, but he's also like just a not in your face presence in it. I don't know how to
You
describe
need a
it.
strong personality, but to be able to rein yourself in.
Yeah.
Like we
And
said
let
before,
the
and let
game
everything
unfold.
unfold.
Yeah.
Because you're not the game, you're a facilitator to the game.
Yeah.
The game is about the contestants, and that's what it's always got to be about. And you're just there to let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get it in the right direction. That's the whole point of the host.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, I'd say in summary, we're very open to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to do it,
I'm not going to stop watching it.
no, we need
No.
to see what happens.
Yeah.
Who from...
We're not going to boycott. We've got this pod now.
I know,
I know
right?
we're locked in.
We're invested.
With all this money it makes us.
What other contestants do you think could potentially be a good host for Australian Survivor? And do you want to lay any ground rules about contestants we can choose from?
Oh, yeah, because I feel like whenever we do these wee segments, we always say it's either Shawnee, Nick, Dave, Luke, or George.
Dead.
So, or Des. Jeez, he'd be a real no-nonsense host, wouldn't he? Right, so what's the ground rules? It's no
Soul survivors, no
repeat riders. So basically, no one that's won before and no one that's come back. So no one that's been on All Stars or has been on the series twice.
Oh, so no Tarzan then.
Oh God, yeah, no, you can't
Go
have.
for Tarzan.
No, right.
I mean, I love the guy, but no, not as a host.
I think he'd be too laid back.
Yeah.
Right, I need to have a thing.
Maybe that's a good thing, though.
Magician Matt was one that came to mind for me because I feel like he loves the game.
Loves the game and is like enthusiastic, but not too much.
Oh, no. I was going to say Simon, but again, he's played multiple times.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely think Simon would be a great host.
Yeah.
Simon would be. Do you know what I think my concern is like when people love the game too much.
Like too involved.
But then again, JLP loves the game. So
Yes, yeah. What about, we've not mentioned any female players yet.
yeah, it could be interesting to have a female. Is there any?
Brooke, I think,
Oh my
would
God,
do a
Brooke
really
would
good
be
job.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She would be really good. Is there any iterations that have a female host?
I don't believe so, but I've never really looked into it.
None that I've watched, but I've only watched the American, the UK. Oh no, I've watched quite a few actually. The UK, the American one, the New Zealand one, and Australia. None of them have female hosts.
No.
Maybe that would be a more interesting decision.
Groundbreaking.
Let me think.
Flick.
Yeah, Flick would be good.
The problem is we've really limited ourselves because Shawnee would be I think the ideal host.
She would
out
be
of
the
female
ideal her
contestants.
or Sandra.
I want to see Shawnee play again every 2 to 3 years.
So she can be
Well, we're
the
about
host.
to.
She's like,
So we'll see her.
oh my God, do you know who would be good? Who also we're not allowed to say, but Haley.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Haley would be good. She would be like a good calming presence, I feel.
Parvati.
Yeah.
Oh, Parvati.
I know, obviously, an American Survivor, but
We've
she's
just
going to be
gone.
Australian Survivor now.
Yeah.
So, Parvati.
Speaking of repeat riders
Yeah.
and soul survivors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
What about Kelly?
Oh, stop. Kelly.
That'd be so much fun.
Oh, my God. She could do a deep dive on
Valeria, what about Valeria?
She would
be fab.
She would be. But you know what? I feel like she wears her emotions on her sleeve too much. Do you think George would make a good host?
No.
He's too much of a character.
Yeah. But then so is Golden God.
Potentially.
But George is just, I think George is himself.
I think that is it. I think George's character is him.
Yeah.
And the same with Luke.
Yeah.
Like his character is just him. And I think he's
Yeah.
too much of a...
I think Luke would be quite
I
good
actually think he'd be really fun.
because he's really lovable,
He
Yeah.
but he's also not too in your face.
would.
Yeah.
I almost think he'd be a bit too out of control.
What do you mean?
I think he'd be difficult for production.
Oh,
Not in like
knows
a harsh
right.
way, but just he's having too much fun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know who'd be good? Boston Rob.
oh my goodness me.
He would be really good because he's like firm.
Yeah.
We've seen him in that Traitor's Tower.
I would say his mood on that was mainly despair and
Yeah.
just disbelief at the situation in front of him.
He'd be doing a Jeff, like, why have you voted this person out? Like, are you serious?
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, it's going to be interesting. I'm just trying to imagine someone stepping into that role. How do you not do what JLP has done? Like, you need to make it your own, because otherwise everyone's just going to be like, you're a bad JLP.
Yeah.
This is the tricky thing, though, because there's so many iconic parts of being a host. A lot of what JLP does is mirrored from Jeff Probst.
Yeah, true.
Like the phrasing and stuff,
yeah.
a lot of that is like directly from.
Is the Probstmeister General.
But then he's
Yeah,
made it his own.
Yeah, he
So
has.
it's like,
Yeah.
how do you...
Say like the ball innuendos.
Yeah,
like,
that's all him.
That's JLP.
all
But
him.
it's
Yeah.
going to be weird for someone else to come in now and like. Well,
I think it's kind of an Australian thing as well, right?
Oh, yeah,
it's
maybe.
like similar to how it would be. I think in the UK there'd be a similar innuendo style if you had a good host.
I think that is concerning is like, we have seen from the UK one what it's like if it doesn't have a good.
I was literally just thinking.
Am I allowed to say? Am I allowed to say that? I don't know, but
I think we can because well, as a whole, I don't think the host was the sole problem.
No,
I
there
think
was many
There
issues
was
with
many
the UK one,
issues with
but-
the UK one.
yeah,
But yeah, the host didn't bring it together in the way that we've seen in other
Yeah.
iterations. So yeah, it's like make or break time.
make her break it.
Don't, because remember Make It or Break It got cancelled. That's a very similar feeling. We never got to see those girls go to the Olympics.
God damn it!
I
God's
have
sake.
no idea what you're talking about.
It's a very niche reference.
Very niche.
But what
Probably got this.
what I'm trying to say is like, if this doesn't go well and ratings fall lower, then they could end up having to cancel Australian Survivor as a whole.
Yeah.
So a lot hinges on this decision.
A lot. It's still, to me, very hard to understand why, because if ratings
Yeah.
are falling, to me, it doesn't feel like that's a host problem.
No, and I also feel like it's not. You don't solve it by getting someone who the audience already knows to host it instead. You know, if you want to bring in a new crowd.
Yeah.
Because I love David, but
Yeah.
I love Jono too, and I think that's probably
Yeah.
the consensus among fans. So it's not like they've brought in like a big name to kind of draw that crowd in.
Yeah. Is there anyone like outside of Survivor that you think would be a good host for it? Or
Like
mean-
Chris Hemsworth, maybe. I'm trying to think of Australians.
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked that question because I don't know. I don't really know.
You don't know anyone. You only know them if they've been
Kylie
in it.
Minogue.
Wait, what's his name? It's
Kylie.
It's Jacob Elordi. Is he Australian?
Oh,
Or is he
from Kiss and Booth. He is Australian, yeah, but I can't imagine him
Sorted.
in that role.
Yeah, sorted.
There's not really that many like Australians that make it big over
I've
here.
only really seen him in two things. So I've seen him in Kissing Booth, where
Yeah.
he's kind of awful, and then I've seen him an awful acting as an awful person.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
in Euphoria, where he's even worse.
Oh my god, he's terrifying in
terrifying.
Euphoria. What if you had to choose someone from Neighbours? What about
Oh
Carl
my god,
Kennedy?
my mind didn't even go to it. Well, they're all looking a job now, Coop, aren't they?
Oh god, I'm sorry to bring it up.
Oh, it's been a real
Low after
hard,
blow for you.
hard year for me, I would say, with that. And then JLP, Paul Robinson, get him doing it.
Yeah, he would be pretty good, surely.
Yeah. It would just be so surreal though, like my world's converging.
Colliding, yeah.
Who was Toadie?
Toadie?
Yeah, Toadie would be a
Is
good
he still in it?
No.
Is he not?
He's directing some of the episodes now.
Oh, that's good for
And
him.
they also force him to come back every now and then as a character because he didn't complete all the hours on his contract.
Well, seriously.
I think the actors come out and said that as soon as that's done, he will not be back, but he basically has to come back for some scenes now and then.
Love that.
Yeah.
If something miraculous happened and Channel 10 decided to backtrack on their decision, do you think JLP would come back?
It's hard because he's kind of going he's going in on them.
Yeah.
On social because he's so furious. But I think because he loves it so much, he probably would.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, because it's almost like that thing, like, like back in the day if you were dating someone and then I know what it is. On Love is Blind, sometimes they have two love interests and then one of them maybe tells the other one, oh, I'm deciding between you and someone else. They then reject them and then they go to the other person and they always say something like, no, because I want to be your first choice.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like JLP might feel like that because you wouldn't want to necessarily come back knowing that they tried to replace you.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And again, he does love it and the fans want to see it.
Yeah, I feel like we just need an international Survivor. It's just called Survivor International. It's broadcast worldwide. Mm-hmm. It has people from any country and it's hosted by JLP. Problem solved.
Oh, you mean like a new show?
Yeah.
Oh,
World
that'd be
versus
good.
the world.
Yeah.
The problem is Australian Survivor, supposedly the rating's going down because it's not the kind of show that Australians are really into at the moment. So like that whole reality genre is supposedly decreasing. But case in point with us, there's a big demand out there internationally for Australian Survivor. People love it outside of Australia. But they can't, I'm guessing there's a contractual thing, because US Survivor, they can't like all step on each other's toes.
They
And
can't all be on that island at the same time.
well, they can't
We're
be,
using
yeah.
the same beach. It's
The
like
same-
wandering up, finding an idol. Like, oh no, that was actually from New Zealand.
Oops.
It's not the right idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a not bad idea. Right. Just kind of bringing it back.
Yeah.
A positive that we can talk about is that we are still going to get JLP on AU versus the World.
Yeah.
Which, although they haven't announced the date yet, we're pretty sure is like coming soon. Surely.
Only when we thought it was next week.
Give the panic.
I thought it was end of July. I thought it was following on from MasterChef.
Yeah, well, that's what we're told. I mean, that rumor wasn't true, but the rumor about JLP was.
Well,
Yeah, wrong rumor.
I mean, MasterChef I don't think's over yet. So it's could still follow. And they're starting to release
How
things
long
for
is that show?
Australia versus the World. So I think within a month, we could be seeing Australia versus the World.
It's going to be so bittersweet. Like, I'm very excited for it, but also it is going to be very sad that it's the last one. I feel like we'll have to watch the last episode altogether.
Well, yeah, like we said at the start, every JLP moment is going to be just a stab in the heart.
God, and it's not even going to be that long, is it?
No, it's a very
No.
short season, yeah.
That's even worse. But who are we excited to see?
Everyone on that cast.
Is a stellar cast.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Suri
Same.
Yes.
again. I love Suri. She's awesome.
Love her.
Obviously, like she is a big name, but bigger names like Parvati is going to be interesting. Shame we're not getting any Boston Rob. Tony. Really interesting to see as well. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about the non-US, non-Australian players. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's quite exciting as well. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's good to have some that you know,
Yeah,
and then
some
we're
that-
going to have
For
some
sure.
new faces, well, new to us faces as well.
Yeah.
I am, super excited to see Sari.
Yeah.
Tony, oh my God, he's just such a big character. I can't wait to see like how he interacts with the Golden God.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're potentially rivals in
Yeah. Do you know
male.
Luke got his inspo for the Spy Shack from
Yes,
Tony?
from Tony,
Yeah. So that's
I remember because I saw that season of US Survivor after Luke's, so I thought Luke was the originator, and then I saw Tony
Yeah.
building the Spy Shack, and I was like, oh my God, it was Tony all along.
I'm looking forward to seeing Luke again because he's not been on it for so long, and also Sarah, she's never been back.
She's
again.
never been back. So
Wait.
that's super exciting. Sarah Tilke.
Is Luke on?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
What?
I
I'm
surprised
super,
me.
I'm super excited to see Luke again.
Him and Dave reunited.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm curious to see like when and if there is going to be a merge, because I mean the problem with like merges and tribe swaps in these themed seasons is it happens early on and then the theme is out the window. Right,
Yeah.
it starts out as heroes v villains, and then they do a tribe swap, and it's just like, well, now it's just two tribes
Yeah.
intermingling.
This is
But I'm
true.
really curious to see like how Tony would interact with Dave.
Yeah, and
know.
also it might be quite kind to George if they do a tribe swap quite early on, because I feel like he's not got tons of friends on that Australian tribe.
Yeah. Has he got any allies?
Well, he's got Shawnee, but then he stabbed her in the back last time, so that might be a no.
She's out for revenge.
Yes.
Be out for revenge. I feel like Shawnee does know that George is quite a good shield to keep around, so maybe
That's
she
true.
will keep him for a bit.
I feel like it's a game of shields, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. What do you think about Janine coming back?
Oh,
The
yeah.
godmother.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I liked Janine from memory. Yeah, I think she was a good player.
We liked her on Australian Apprentice as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then obviously we've got Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
Who I am actually super excited to see come back.
Yeah,
because
I am.
she's going to be... Wait, is she the only person that hasn't played with anyone else that's out there?
Ooh.
I think she
Maybe.
is.
And do you know what? I think that might be an advantage.
Yes.
I remember listening to the podcast ages back with Dave where he was talking about his All-Stars win, and he was saying it was like an advantage that he didn't have close relationships with anyone outside the game, because he was able to just really view it as a game without those kind of personal dynamics coming into it and clouding things.
I think it could go one of two ways. So either that
Or she just
it's an
forced
easy
it.
boot. Yeah. Which I hope she isn't. I would like to see her stay.
I could see her and George maybe teaming up.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. That would be fab, actually. So tons of exciting stuff to come, hopefully. Were you going to give some news then?
Yeah, sorry, I got massively distracted by Reddit.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Channel 10 apparently freaking out over decision to fire JLP.
Oh my God. Breaking news.
Oh my God.
There are plenty of sweaty palms at Channel 10's Piermont HQ after my exclusive story on Jonathan LaPaglia being sacked as host of Australian Survivor. Not only are they furious that I broke the news before the launch of the upcoming season, they'd hoped to quietly drop it to the Daily Telegraph at the end of the year, but now there is serious internal panic over the viewer backlash to the decision. They expected some noise from the hardcore fans, sure, but nothing on this scale. The backlash has completely blindsided them.
Nice.
An insider tells me. No one anticipated the audience would rally behind Jonathan like this. He was always popular, but they're freaking out behind the scenes about the level of outrage.
Oh my God.
They should be freaking out.
Because I have not seen one single positive comment about the change.
Right?
No.
While the official line is that the network is moving in a different direction following a dip in ratings, sources tell me the call to move Lapallia on came from high up the food chain at production company Endemol Shine Australia, not Channel 10.
Oh, now they're throwing Endemol under the bus.
And while the network might be trying to spin it as a mutual parting of ways, industry insiders are calling it what it really was, a cold cut to save cash.
It doesn't really feel like they're trying to spin it as a mutual parting of ways. Like,
Well,
it's very clear that
Definitely
he's
not a
fired.
mutual parting of ways, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
He may have gotten a courtesy phone call from 10 eventually, one source tells me, but that was just to soften the blow. The truth is he found out via email. It was sent by someone at Endemol Shine, and it wasn't exactly warm either. It just pinged into his inbox after he finished Australia v. the World. He opened it thinking it was about logistics, then realised they were firing him. It's not how you treat someone who's carried the show on their back for nearly a decade. Others close to production described the email to me as blunt, clinical, and a slap in the face. He's been the face of the franchise for almost 10 years, and that's the best they could do. An email, fumes one of my sources. And then there's a link to the full article.
No wonder he's furious.
A clinical email.
What do you think it said?
Oh, I'm
Dear JLP, you're sacked.
Dear
Sincerely, Endemol Shine Australia.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
I am shooketh all over again.
I love that though, that they've just been like sent into absolute like furor over like the reaction, because never seen like such a like consensus about any kind of decision like that before, that like everyone is fuming.
Oh my God. This is so interesting. Who was that article? Like
I think it was, it might have even been the Daily Mail. You know, the original person that leaked it.
So it sounded like it was them
We need to get this
actually.
leaker on the pod.
Yeah. But then the fact that they were like, they wanted to just like drop it quietly to
At
the
the end of the
telegraph.
year,
What if it was ever going to drop quietly?
Yeah, like no one was going to kick off about this at any point. Like,
Why have they said they
my
expected
God.
some backlash, but not?
well, because you expect some backlash.
No, but I mean, surely some is like a massive understatement from what they should have
I
expected.
think they
don't
didn't
think-
realize, because it said they thought the hardcore fans would be annoyed, but the casual viewers wouldn't be as mad.
But it's gone worldwide. Like, legitimately, it has. It's been reported in like news sources around the world.
I wonder what Jeff thinks.
Jeff.
Yeah. I feel like we need a statement from him.
I'll just get him on the phone now, shall I?
An email. Do you know, I'm picturing him literally getting off the flight after filming Australia vs. the World, getting his phone like off airplane modes, and boom, there's this clinical email.
It's an absolute disgrace.
And
Subject line probably like next series. I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
logistics.
Oh my God.
That is a disgrace.
That is an outrage.
No wonder he's done that like post. Jeez, he should have gone in on them more.
I have regressed from depression and I've gone back to viscerally angry.
Viscerally angry, absolutely.
I have.
Email.
I can only hope they U-turn their decision after this. And but to be honest, it goes back to, will he even come back now? After that, you'd have to think really carefully if you even want to work with those people ever again.
I love how we were going to try and be like, neutral, but not really going in on
all bets are off now.
bits are off since we found
After
about
hearing
email.
about the disgusting way in which they fired him.
It may as well have been a text.
I know.
Right?
At least a text that would have cost the money to send it, actually, an email.
Hey, babe, I know we've been together for 10 years, but I think it's time to call it quits. Laters.
Yeah.
Kiss, kiss, Endemol Shine Australia.
That's awful, isn't it?
That's the worst.
And he's been sitting on that then, and as soon as it was leaked, he was probably like, good, I can post this now.
Yeah.
Sorry, but who's typed an email firing JLP and thought that was okay to send?
I struggle to believe this. It's just not the done thing.
I know, but this source has not been wrong before.
I can only believe that someone inside Endemol Shine leaked it via email to JLP, and it's not an actual. Obviously, this is pure conjecture,
But then
like,
did they not say it was like a curse? Oh no, the phone call was cursed.
you have to call someone for something like that, or even better, meet them in person.
It has to be in person.
God, I
surely.
mean, in the UK here, when you get rid of someone, you have a full like redundancy process.
Yeah.
It goes on for months. Like,
you need like,
can't
what's the name
just-
of like the person that comes with you to stuff? You know?
yeah, you can have like a representative or like
Yeah.
a,
but it's like a support.
yeah, like a support.
Yeah. What are they called?
What are they called? Like
I can't remember.
basically like an emotional support.
Yeah.
person, but
You
Can I
need
bring my
that.
cat?
You need like the whole process, like the review process.
yeah.
This is an outrage.
It is an outrage, actually. What?
I'm all fired up again.
I know.
I mean, right. Well, we need to look more into this story, and then hopefully, Endemol release a statement.
This is obviously a developing story.
Yeah, we're all bringing news
Oh
as
God, it just keeps going, doesn't it? Like,
well, I did not think we were going to be getting a breaking news moment in this
No.
pod.
well, hot off the press. I am so glad though that they are regretting it.
Yeah.
and like,
I
yeah,
hope there's sweaty palms.
I hope
there.
there's.
I mean, honestly, like, if I was, we obviously don't know who the supposed replacement host is for sure. But if
Yeah.
I was the supposed replacement host, I would be sat there thinking, oh my God,
I ain't doing this.
people are going to hate on me so much.
Yeah.
Not that they should, because it's
They
completely
shouldn't.
unfair, and it's not that person's decision.
I've seen it on his Instagram already. People commenting on Dave's
Yeah.
Instagram.
It's completely not right.
There was also someone that commented about how he betrayed that guy on Deal or No Deal, Philip.
Oh,
yeah.
Everyone's commenting about like stealing JLP's job, and then there's like one outlier is like, I can't believe you betrayed Philip on Deal or No Deal.
Oh, man.
the thing is, if you got offered that job,
Oh,
Yeah,
I'd be
take
like,
it.
this is a dream job.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
and I mean, he's tough. I mean, I'm sure,
I
like,
hope he's okay.
yeah,
he shouldn't be getting.
I mean,
paid.
he was a model. Like, assuming it is,
That's a
he was a
cutthroat
model. Like, he's
industry.
put up with worse in his career, almost.
yeah, but it's not fair.
But it's totally not fair. It's not okay. Shouldn't do it. But he's got to be still sat there thinking, oh no,
Yeah, he's got to be
my
panicking a
reception
little
is going to
bit.
be cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, because it's hard to, well, I mean, we just come back to the fact that it's hard to fill those
Yeah.
boots.
Yeah, and you know, I wonder if Endemol are surprised as well that like the messaging from JLP, maybe they were hoping he would like toe the line
Be
a bit
graceful,
more and be
yeah.
more graceful about it, but the fact that he is just not, then it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's
That's
just lost his job for
so
10 years.
no,
Like,
I know. I
how
mean,
can you possibly expect him to be
Well, no,
okay
I-
with it? It's
I
like,
agree.
They've just missed the mark in every
every way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
They can't believe like the response to it.
I mean, that's just, well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that's just classic, like business 101. You have to know your customer, you have
Yeah.
to know your audience. And
yeah. Where
it
was the
doesn't feel like they
research?
did. Yeah.
Where was the environment scanning?
I answered no surveys. I took part in no focus groups.
I
No one
don't
asked
get-
us, a leading authority on Australian survival.
Yeah, right. I don't get, like, if it did come from up high, like, because before it was sort of believable. There's been rumors of, Channel 10 having like money problems. It's sort of more believable that they'd be like, we can't afford to give JLP what he deserves.
Yeah.
But the fact this decision has supposedly, again, rumor, come from like up high at Endemol Shine, who, it doesn't matter to them that much. Well, it does, but why? Why would they decide? What possible decision?
I know, this is it. I really feel like I want to see the paperwork. Like I
I want to see the receipts.
Yeah,
And
I
the email.
do. Yeah, I very
Oh, I
much want
hope
to see
the
that.
email comes out.
I hope
Surely
JLP posts it. I wouldn't put past
It
him.
won't. He never would.
How do you know?
Yeah,
I
he
wonder that post
might.
he's done already and he's
there's
liking comments
there's like
about
a cross. There's a line that's crossed then where you're like breaching confidentiality potentially.
Maybe.
maybe.
But I'd love to see it.
Well, we just have to hope this whoever
He's
this
gone
Daily
rogue.
Mail source is
You
can.
can't forget, Will, he's gone rogue.
He has
He's
got-
unmuzzled.
I mean, he has he's definitely not worried about burning bridges. like from the whole thing.
I'm so
which-
here for it.
Me too.
I'm so here for it.
I hope he dishes all the production secrets.
I know.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so.
Well, he already is a wee bit when like Andrew, her favourite from series 1, commented on JLP's announcement post saying,
yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to be a good host because of when you like left that long pause before you said welcome to Australian Survivor. And JLP replied saying, well, that was actually production not having their it together, not me. I was ready. What did he say? I was ready to drive at home or something?
It was something like that. I loved that. Yeah.
Well, gosh, that was an unexpected emergency news
That was
segment.
we were basically on the
Breaking
front line breaking news.
God,
there.
Will, you've got to edit this super fast.
Well, for one thing, I am glad I've got you guys as like a support network
Oh my
this
God.
devastating time.
Yeah, because no one else really understands because
No.
no one else in the UK watches.
Well, people do, but not our
no one
friends.
we know.
Yeah.
Not for like, one of trying to get people to be watching.
I know. Even when we brought out a bloody podcast.
I know. Ironically, we've got like friends that are listening to this podcast but still not watching the bloody show. Like,
And we need the ratings up. I guess we'll wrap up there then. I mean, I'm glad we got to share our feelings with everyone.
we will be back very soon for Australia versus the world. Hopefully not next week because then we really will find out the meaning of scramble. But if you'd like to make sure you catch us then follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are also on Instagram at Make It To Merge Pods, and we will chat to you very soon. Bye.
See you then.
Bye.